Hello. How are you today?
I'm good, how are you?
Great. That was a wonderful performance. Thank you so much for coming in today. I know we have some personnel to swap around. You guys are multi-talented, which is incredible. But I always like to start first and foremost by thanking your amazing teacher/teachers, if applicable. And in this case, he's right over there. Can we give him a round of applause? What a well-prepared performance. Could you guys tell that it was really it was thoughtful and considerate, and everybody knew what was going on the whole time, which is really cool. That's a lot harder than it seems, right? In a combo setting, especially when you have so many horn players. So your balance, everything was cool. And I love the soprano just being part of that textural mix. It was really, really nice. So I have tons of awesome things to say to you. I'm going to try and push you a little bit today too, if that's okay with you. But hopefully you're not nervous anymore and everything's kind of out there. Tell me how you think the performance went today, first and foremost.
A train went good, and then jump jive felt, we solo section, a little thing happened.
Okay,
But
okay.
we held it
But we
together.
held it
Yeah, that's an accomplishment in itself.
That's so true. That is like the accomplishment, right?
It
Of
is.
being on stage in a creative setting where you are playing improvised music. That's huge. So I love the humility, and then I love the celebration of like everything that didn't go wrong.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I'll tell you the secret, you guys, no matter how long you play jazz for, there's always going to be something that happens on stage, and that's kind of the fun of it. So I said earlier today that I like it to be a little dangerous. When you're on stage, you have to have that element of spontaneity, right? And not always know what's going to happen. Otherwise, it's pretty boring. Especially, I'm a bass player, and I love playing like notes on the written page, and I love playing in big band, but bass players never have the most fun like big band parts, right? Do we agree, bass players?
That's why I play trombone.
Yep. Super smart. I should have done the same thing. So being in combo is always where we get to let loose a little bit more, and I love that. I appreciate that about it. So first off, the energy that you all brought to this performance was not just outstanding, but it was consistent through both pieces. So kudos to you for that. What do you think I mean by energy? What am I really complimenting you on? How is it evident to me that you had good energy?
Kind of feeling the groove and like kind of moving along to it, keeping the rhythm.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Anything else, guys?
Kind of in between tunes, we still have a supportive vibe, talking to each other.
Right. Nobody's like, oh my God,
Yeah.
that was terrible. You know, everybody's really still in the moment and present and ready for the next tune. That's great. Also, you had some changes to make, which was cool. And I love the last minute decision to shuffle down. That was brilliant. That's great. So logistics are a thing too. Yeah, absolutely. So the energy is good from the standpoint of like your stage presence too. So the fact that everybody is kind of loose and your eyes are up and nobody's just kind of like cowering like this or super evidently nervous. If you were, you fooled me, which is half the battle, so good job. And you were just excited to play. So I take it you like those two tunes pretty well, yeah? Awesome. Okay. So let's start, just because I'm not going to make you switch twice, let's start with the last tune, and let's play a little bit there. So something that I want to talk about, it's funny because you guys said the anchor. When we started, we were joking about the bass being the anchor. Everybody is the anchor in a certain sense, and we're going to work on that just a little bit. So I'm a bit of a broken record with talking about time, mostly because I'm a rhythm section person, but time is really what separates a young musician from a professional musician. And you guys have so much going for you that I want to try and push you just a little bit with your time, okay? First of all, your drummer, amazing. I know you have two. I'm going to pick on you first. I mean, the confidence that is going on back there, it's incredible. It was so fun to watch you, and your eyes are up the whole time, and you're enjoying yourself. It's even more challenging with masks to have stage presence, right? You guys achieved that, which is amazing. And it's all like beaming from the back, too. I loved it. So you were just like, I'm killing this. It was so good. So I'm going to use sort of a non-cool, non-jazz term. the word legato, what does that mean?
Smooth and connected.
Smooth and connected, that was easy, good job. So rhythm section, I want you to think a little bit more legato, and this is actually true for both rhythm sections, like variations. So I would like to hear you guys play the groove, just from like the top of where the melody comes in. And I want you to think about it being a little bit more smooth and connected. So that doesn't mean that your comping rhythms on piano have to be like footfalls and sustain, but just thinking about the time in a more legato sense, and really that comes from the bass. So a little bit less space between the notes. So you're still punctuating, but it's nice and like going this way. I'm also a broken record about this, so you'll find out. Okay, so let's hear just the three of you for now, okay? About there, from the top. Does it make sense where I want you to start, just so you're all.
Maybe
on the
measure
same
5,
page?
right, when the melody kicks in, like measure 5, yeah.
Measure 5, I love it. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's really good. So I have something for each of you. So piano, I hate that. What is your name?
Angela.
Angela, beautiful, Angela. Do what you're doing a little bit less rhythmic, and I don't mean less rhythmic, I mean more space, just a little bit, because that frees you up to play more of the time than if you're trying to play a lot of rhythm in one measure. Does that make sense? I hope so. If it doesn't, let me know and I can try and show you. I'm gonna slow it down a little bit, because I want to hear more of a phrase in your bass line. I want to hear, especially when we go to like the 2-5 kind of progression, or when we go to the 4 chord, I want to hear. Like that's a melody. Do you know what I mean? What you're playing sounds like a melody. I just want you to feel it as a melody, so that it comes across here. You know? Same exact thing. I want you to hear what you're playing as a melody, okay? It has beauty, and it has phrasing, and if you want to open the hi-hat a little bit more, so you get a little bit more texture when you're playing it, and a little bit more wash, that might be nice. So can we go in the same spot? And let's take it down in tempo. So what does slowing stuff down do when we're practicing?
Improve accuracy.
Yeah, it also makes it easier to hear what we're aiming for, right? If it's not going by so quickly. So let's try it this tempo. And the reason I'm talking so much while I'm snapping is to actually give you the time that you need to lock into the tempo. Okay? We're gonna forget the other one. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and. That's okay. It's part of the trusting thing, right? So when you played that time, oh my gosh, it was just like you all of a sudden, you know? Like it was just so clear and consistent, and it had this like punctuation thing going on. I love that. And your melodies are starting to come out, and I'm hearing more like interesting stuff from the hi-hat, right? So I want to try. We're going to take it back up to tempo, maybe a little under, but I want to hear it with you guys, and I want you to be listening for that while you're playing. Does that make sense? So we're all listening for that like nice cohesive unit from the time, and I want you guys to bring that same energy, but harness it in a way that it's like you're all one unit, okay? It's just psychology. If you think of it that way, it'll work, I promise. So how about, can we go right at measure 5? a little bit under, but that's on purpose. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. It still has a bounce, but it's a little bit fuller sounding. So I want to have just rhythm section and trumpet, and we have you two as well. Okay, so just everybody except the response on the call. Here we go. Just you guys. Measure 5. A 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. You're all articulating really well. It's not quite the same. Do you know what I mean? So the three of you are not playing exactly the same. So, could you sing it? Sing it without me. A 1, 2, 3, and. Yeah, so there, we kind of revealed it, right? We're not all thinking of it the same way, which means we're not singing it the same way, and vice versa. And then when we play it, it's not quite the same. So, who would we defer to in a situation like this if we didn't have a teacher? Which instrument? Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, so if you want to play it for us, just play it. 1, 2, 3, and.
Sorry, I was like trying to get my mask down in time. I was
It's
like,
like a whole new world. Here we go. 1,
So you guys play it
2,
under
3,
it.
and. Yeah. Do you hear the way he did it? Let's sing it the way he did. 1, 2, 3, and. Everyone sang it the exact same way. That's beautiful. 3 of you play it. Ready? 1, 2, 3, and. Yeah, infinitely better already. So the listening to each other thing is really a mature idea, you guys. So I'm pushing you a little bit to get to that next thing. Because you don't need him to tell you how to play these rhythms anymore. You just need to help each other.
We don't need
him.
I'm joking, I'm joking,
I didn't
joking,
think
joking.
that.
Actually, the 1 week he wasn't here, we couldn't get into the room, so.
That's
Maybe we do need him.
You will always need him. So, if it's in your ears, then, you know, you can say, hey guys, do you mind just like listening to the way I'm articulating, and let's line it up, right? And I know that can be really intimidating, but you guys are good enough that you could do that for each other. Absolutely. Like, give each other a little constructive, like peer-to-peer, you know, help. I think that's totally fine. So, the other reason I wanted to isolate that is because it's rushing a little bit, and I'm noticing that just a little bit with you guys, which is super, super common, not like at all a diss. It's just like something that we do when we're trying to swing. We start to rush the rhythms a little bit, especially when they're the best. So in that tune, it was happening just a bit. So I want you to take these concepts. I know it's so nitpicky and small, but I want you to blow them up on this tune into like the whole thing. Thinking about that too, especially during the solos, right? I love how many people soloed on this, and sometimes they were really short. So let's make the most of that with like the connection between the rhythm section, right? Also backgrounds, I think it was on A Train. We're gonna play that one too in a second, but just be careful too that we're listening to each other. I always say this on the tape, but coming into like some new room where you've never played before and then being told like you didn't balance very well is not very nice. So I'm not going to say that because you did really well. It's just that sometimes the solos were overshadowed just a bit. And I know too, like not being able to see your rhythm section might be kind of tricky, right? You have to, do you guys rehearse this way with the horns facing out?
Usually
Yeah,
face-
usually.
on the side.
That's great, because like that's real life, right? Instead of just rehearsing like this all the time, and then you have to go to a performance and you're like, where are they? So that's really thoughtful. Let's switch and play, we have a few minutes, let's play A Train. And then you guys start going.
Certainly, I kind of apologize.
Come on, don't take away your folder, and you ask for it back.
All right, so now, basically of changing the mindset, I want you guys to try it now too. Okay, good. Question, the tempo on this, the way you guys performed it, was it pretty close to the way you rehearsed it? On this
Yeah,
one? Okay.
towards our like final rehearsals.
Cool, okay. I'm gonna take it down a little bit. Do you know the words to this too?
That's a
I was
good
really
question.
going over this
We
We
yesterday.
were, yeah, you got it.
Fastest way down to Harlem.
Okay, good
No.
job. Very nice, cool. All right, let's try it from, let's see, I'm gonna start with you. I wanna hear it at 9, measure 9, ready? Measure 9. And I'm taking it down a little bit, just a hair. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, yeah. Yep, what I like about it now is it's really light and bouncy. I just want to get back to that place where it was legato and you didn't feel like scuffling so much. So I'm gonna take it down even more. Da-da, do-da, do-da, do-da. So more intention on that comping. Why is it important what the piano does on this tune? Who wrote the tune?
Oh, yeah, what player?
So Billy Strayhorn worked with
Duke
Duke
Ellington.
Ellington, thank you. And it's a Duke Ellington feature, right?
Yeah.
So it's important. That's why even what's written there is so cool because it like has that feature vibe. So all eyes are on you, even though we can see it. Okay. Here we go. 1, 2, measure 9 again, and go. Okay. That's so much better. Oh my gosh, I love it. And the legato, amazing. I want to hear a little bit later. Can this melody people? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, Yes, did you hear how clear that was? So when we take it up, I want it to be exactly as clear as that. At home, you gotta put your metronome on. Who hates playing with the metronome at home? You have to make the metronome work for you.
I'm trying.
Don't think of it the other way around. So starting it slow and working it up in like literally one click at a time, okay? I want it to be that clear because you're that good, and I want it to be that obvious to everybody all of the time. You guys have a lot going for you. First of all, you have him, and you have each other. I hope this gives you some things to think about, but more importantly, listen back to the recording too. It's not gonna be like the best in class version of, you know, sonically what you did, but it's an example, right? And so you can listen to the rhythm section sound, all the stuff we talked about, see if you hear it, and then record yourself again and see if you hear the difference. Because that's what's important. If you can hear the difference and make those changes, that's all that matters to me and any teacher ever. Okay. Thank you so much, you guys. You're awesome. Appreciate him and have a fantastic rest of your day.
Thank you.